Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This week on the Kindness Project, we talk about random word generators, Olympic swimming, and we have part 2 of our interview with Hazel Grace from Supporting Nepal's Children.
Welcome, my friends, to another edition of the Kindness Project. I am your host, Chris Dames, and I'm joined by a girl who's just told me she's joining the Federales. It's Charlotte Dames.
I'm not joining the Federales.
You said Google keeps on saying I should join the FBI.
Or the nursing programme.
So what are you going to go for? A Federale or a nurse?
A Federale.
A Federale nurse.
They get paid better, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't right. Never mind.
What,
not talking about it at the moment.
I thought we don't get political on the Kindness Project.
We don't.
We try and avoid politics as much as possible.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Also, I can't join the FBI because I'm not an American citizen.
Well, you could join the MI5, couldn't you?
I could, yeah, but I don't think
it's not
that's
called
very
the
good
MI5, but it's called MI5 or MI6 or MI7 or MI8 if there was one. But nobody knows about MI8 because it's too secret. Anyway.
I'm joined by a man who is taking me completely off my train of thought. Thanks for that. You already introduced yourself. So I'm Charlotte Dames and you're Chris Dames. And this is not our usual format.
Is that your introduction?
Yes.
This is not you.
Yes.
Yeah, normal service will never resume because
when is it normal with us?
Yeah,
hey.
exactly. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day. I'm looking forward to our Valentine's Day kindness news coming up.
I thought I had multiple articles, but I have one and one about Chick-fil-A.
Okay, so we've got one about Valentine's Day and one about Chick-fil-A, whatever that is. I don't know.
It's an American thing.
We'll let you know as time goes on. Anyway, what other subjects would you like to talk about?
I am literally ramping up the random word generator. Dependence.
You're a dependent? Christ on a bike. When are you going to start earning a living? Okay, so that's that one. Next one.
Complication.
I tell you what's complicated. The amount of money you cost me. Oh, Christ on a bike.
You signed up for it. Don't say it's like my fault. You signed up for it.
Okay, what's next? What else can I insult you with? You put 100 words.
Okay, I was going for 10. Laboratory.
You weren't made in a laboratory.
That's good to know. Favourite?
Are we just going to go through a list of words?
Yup.
With me making a comment about each word? I don't find that particularly fun, so we won't do that.
Aquarium. Do you have a favourite fish?
Is that your question of the podcast?
Well, it is now.
What's your favourite fish? Is that genuinely the question of the podcast?
What is your favourite memory of water?
Oh, now that's interesting.
Let's go with it.
Okay, what's my favourite memory of water? I remember, I used to be really into swimming as a kid. And I remember, and this name won't mean anything to you, I don't think, once meeting Duncan Goodshoe, who was a famous British swimmer back in the day, and famous baldy, so maybe that's why when I get there I'll be aspiring to be Duncan Goodshoe, and another swimmer called David Wilkie at my local swimming baths. So one of my favourite memories of water is not actually out on the open sea, it's meeting some swimming legends.
That's why I said water and not ocean, because some people don't like the ocean. I'm not a big fan of the ocean, but I do like water. But I don't like the beach. It's sandy and salty.
Well, I also like. I've got last couple of years I've got really into kayaking, and Sophie and I. You're not a big fan, but Sophie and I have been out on the kayak on Lake Windermere in the Lake District when we had the opportunity to have a little holiday between lockdown 1 and lockdown 12. So I think being on the water is quite nice. And when we took that motorboat out and had a little scoot around, that was good. Yeah. What's your favourite water memory?
Do you remember when we used to go to, because after 2012 we had the Olympic swimming pool in London, and it's basically on our doorstep. It's like half an hour drive.
Yeah.
So we used to go down there all the time, and we went to the Olympic swimming pool all the time. And I remember once They had that giant inflatable thing there, and you got to run along this course on the water. If you didn't make it, you just went splash. And we got thrown out of the big one because I was swimming improperly.
Oh yeah. So in the Olympic-sized swimming pool, apparently, you need to be have a conventional swimming style. Charlotte got told about 2013, 2014 that her style was okay, but not conventional. And I think that meant just not quick enough because you had a traffic jam of people waiting for you to swim a bit
so
faster.
fun,
So yeah, it was good fun. That is, I mean, architecturally. And I think
It's a great
architecture's
smelling
art.
building.
What's that got to do with the architecture? How it smells?
I don't know, I just like the way it
Surely
smells.
it smells like all other swimming pools, just full of chlorine.
Just stronger. And
Yeah.
you can smell it from outside as well.
Yeah.
Like you walk past the vents and you can just smell it.
Yeah.
It's a little car park and you walk past the glass windows and you can smell it.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing. I mean, it is an amazing building and an amazing swimming pool. When we're allowed to go swimming again, first trip back to swimming, we'll go there. But also, if you're in London, check out Docklands Water Sports Centre in Canary Wharf, because I've been kayaking there a couple of times. Once on my own, just with my headphones on, just kayaking around, and once with Soph. And it's amazing to have a little paddle around. Views of Canary Wharf, brilliant thing to do. So, what's your favourite thing to do near water? And what's your favourite memory of being near water? I love that question. How can people answer it?
Well, we have a Facebook page. Yes, and we have a Twitter page. Yes, and they are on separate identifications, unfortunately. So Twitter is @HoloKindness, and Facebook, if you just type the Kindness Project into the search bar, you can't see the actions I'm doing, so they're sort of pointless. It's not.
You're looking quite straight as well today with your beanie and your.
I just wish it had a pouch.
I mean, the thing is, you've got a beanie and you've got quite a funky jumper on, but you've got old woman slippers on, so it ruins the look.
Yeah, I only have.
Welcome to lockdown fashion.
I only have 4 pairs of shoes. 2 of them are boots, and the other 2 are covered in mud. So this will have to do. The exaggerated movements are purely for your entertainment, Dad.
Thanks.
It's like I'm hosting a TV show, except no one can see me rocking out my funky moves.
This is getting bizarre. This is getting very strange.
Anyway, we have an email.
It's the old woman slippers that are doing it for me. I'm looking at them and going, the ensemble and the moves all go together. Then you look down and go, they are the slippers of a 90-year-old woman.
I had a drama teacher who used to wear shoes like this, but there was one piece of drama she used to take her shoes off for because she did it once and her shoe hit a kid in the face.
Rogue shoe hit a child in the face. What piece of drama? Is that piece of drama where she pretends to be a can-can dancer or what?
No, you have to walk like this with your legs sticking out right in front of you, and she did.
How old have you got a kick for your shoes?
Yeah, but
to fly
in
off?
these shoes.
Ah, right, okay. Fair
In
enough.
these sort of shoes, they
Fair
just
enough.
slip right off.
So the unofficial question to podcast listeners is: have you ever kicked a child in the face with a rogue shoe flying off? I mean, I did the other day accidentally throw the controller on the sofa and hit the dog, and I was so gutted for the dog. I was like,
We get so over dramatic when that dog cries. We just go, "Oh my god,
he didn't
baby!"
cry. He just looked at me with sad eyes, going, "Why did you just hurt me?" And I don't think dogs have got the understanding of accidental. No. So he ran over and I just gave him a little cuddle and just made sure I tried to communicate that it wasn't intentional.
We accidentally step on his feet sometimes, and all of a sudden there's 3 of us on the floor going, "Oh my god!"
Making sure he's alright. Anyway, that's it. So you can find us at
HoloKindness on Twitter. Just search the Kindness Project into Facebook, and holla@thekindnessproject.co.uk is the email. That was quick and simple without
yeah, or you can find us and all of our
on the website
www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. And thank you to every single listener of the Kindness Project. We love you all. There are 70,000 of you now, so So we are really pleased we got to that number. We're going to have a party. Charlotte's paying when we get to 100,000.
With what money? With what money?
With the money you've got in the bank.
No, that's my money.
No, that's our money now. Anyway, we might set up a Patreon so people can pay for us to have a party.
Oh, no, that's not what Patreon's for. I thought we were good and charity people, you know?
We are charity people.
We don't make any money from
The
this.
Charlotte James Benevolent... Charlotte James? Who's Charlotte James? The Charlotte James Benevolent Fund.
What do I need money for?
To pay for this party.
You pay for the party. You've got the money. You can afford to pay for the party.
Right, okay. Anyway. On that note, we're going to move on to...
You had to do it when I was taking a sip of water, didn't you? Kindness news.
Okay, that's fine. That's a great way to start Kindness News. And on that note, I am going to start while Charlotte has a sip of water with a piece of Kindness News, because this week it's Kindness News Valentine's edition. And on that note, the title is Inspiring Valentine's Day Horoscopes from Rob Bresney's Free Will Astrology. Our friend Rob Bresney provides his weekly wisdom to enlighten our thinking and motivate our mood. Rob's Free Will Astrology is a syndicated weekly column appearing in over 100 publications. I'm not a big fan of astrology, I've got to be honest. I think it's a bit pseudoscience.
Well, it does say free will astrology, so I was hoping it was going to be more positive and, you know...
Maybe.
Here's some general vibes that you can go out and do this week.
Maybe. And let's read a few of them to see whether
also, it's a nice change from what we usually do.
And actually, the free will astronomy looks like just some general good advice as opposed to stuff you need to follow because you're born in a particular month. Pisces, to heal is to touch with love, which has previously touched by fear, wrote author Stephen Levine. I promise you make this seem a keynote for your best relationships in the coming days. Yeah, so it's not actually a astrology. It's just actually some decent advice. Now, what?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Okay. Transform yourself with the sweetest challenge you can dream up. Give yourself a blessing that will compel you to get smarter and wilder. Dazzle yourself as you dare to graduate from your history. Roll yourself up with a push to become your better self, your best self, your amazingly fulfilled and masterful self. Ask yourself to leap over the threshold of ordinary magic and into the real realm of spooky good magic. And if all of that works out well, Sagittarius, direct similar energies towards someone you care about. In other words, transform them with the sweetest challenge you can dream up. Dare them to graduate from their history. So what I like about this is none of these are actual horoscopes.
What's your one?
They're just general advice. So I'm a Leo. And Leo, they start with quoting poet Warren Shire. Discover the moments you feel most in love with yourself. What you're wearing, who you're around, what you're doing. Recreate and repeat. This would be an excellent exercise for you to carry out during this Valentine's season. You're in a phase where you're likely to enhance your lovability and, if it's possible, and attract extra support simply by intensifying and refining the appropriate compassion you feel and express towards yourself. So, all of these can be applied to anybody, like most horoscopes, and they're actually quite cool. Let's read one more to see whether it appeals. We're going to go.
Mum's a Capricorn.
We're going to go for Capricorn. I invite you to compose a message to a person you'd like to be closer to and whom you'd sure would like to be closer to you. Be inspired by what poet Clementine von Radix wrote to the man she was dating, telling him why she thought they could start living together. Here's her note. Because you texted me a haiku about the moon when you were drunk, because you cried at the end of the movie Die Hard on Christmas Eve, because when I'm sick you bring me fruit, kiss me on the mouth and hold me even though I'm gross, because you bring me flowers for no reason, but on Valentine's Day you gave me a bouquet of Reese's peanut butter cups, because every time I show you a poem I love, you've read it already. That is romance. Aww. That is absolute romance. So, even though we're not horoscopes fans, because of some of the mysticism that goes around it, Rob Bresney's free will astrology is definitely worth a look. We like that. And then for number 2...
Yeah, I couldn't find a second Valentine's one, so here's an article on
Well,
Chick-fil-A.
okay, while you're setting up the next story, my bit of Valentine's news is, and I want to give a shout out to my amazing wife Cassie, is we don't normally do Valentine's Day in the Dame's house in a big way. This year, I bought Mummy flowers from our friend Julie, who's an amazing florist. So thank you, Julie, for delivering those flowers. And then I thought, you know what? It doesn't matter if I get anything because Mummy makes an effort every year. And my assumption was that she hadn't done anything particularly this year because we've been in lockdown. So the afternoon comes. There's a sort of phone call. My wife Cassie gets a phone call, and suddenly I open the door to the sight of a 2-piece brass band playing love songs. In particular, the Beatles. Not the Beatles. It Must Be Love. All You Need Is Love, and it was amazing. I had this
It must be
amazing.
Love the Beatles, that's mad.
Yeah, I had this amazing little concert by this 2-piece brass band. So my kindness news this week is thank you to my amazing wife Cassie for the kindness that she gave me by getting a little brass band turn up.
And I did manage to find another Valentine's Day article. I'm just not sure if it's from this year.
Okay, well, it's Valentine's Day every year, so we're allowed to do that.
Yes.
Are you going to tell us anytime soon?
Oh, if it loads. Okay, let me just read the title because I can see the title. Man has been delivering hundreds of roses to widows, military wives and single women on Valentine's Day. I wish it would load. Seth Stewart and his brothers just want to make sure that women who might feel lonely on Valentine's Day can remember that they're not forgotten.
Yeah, you know what? That's absolutely fair because you know what? For those of us who are in couples, Valentine's Day is a good day to celebrate being in love. But there are plenty of people who find Valentine's Day pretty difficult. Because it's a reminder that they're not in a couple if they wanted to be. But so what's our fellas doing? What's Seth doing?
29-year-old Seth Stewart has spent the last 8 years making sure that local widows, single women and military spouses in Spokane, Washington are not forgotten during the holiday. Every morning on Valentine's Day, Stewart and his brothers deliver single red roses to the homes of women who have lost their spouses or had their significant partners deployed overseas. Stewart keeps a list of all the women and mothers in his area who he delivers to every year. In the weeks leading up to the holiday, Stewart asked Facebook readers to send him the additional names of women who might need a pick-me-up so he can add them to the list. Stewart said that he and his brothers generally deliver between 400 to 500 free roses every year with the help of a delivery driving team, but this year they're delivering 700 roses to women across the region.
Love it.
They're hoping to deliver many more roses in the years to come and expand into other areas, especially after witnessing the emotional impact that it has on the recipients.
Yeah, just somebody saying I care enough to just give you something is a lovely
Here's
thing
a
to
flower.
do, isn't it? Here's a flower. So thank you for that kindness news. And on that note, happy Valentine's Day wherever you are. I hope you
It's
had
a
a good
little
one.
bit late because this is coming out on
Thursday.
the week following Valentine's
I
Day.
hope you had a good Valentine's Day.
Yes.
When is the appropriate time to stop wishing people happy Valentine's Day?
The
You've
day
got a week,
after.
haven't you?
The day after.
Is it about Happy New Year?
Happy New Year the new year. So January. After January, just stop.
Okay. But Valentine's Day, if you don't do it before or after Valentine's Day, you bang on the head. You're scuppered.
I love that word.
Okay, well, I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. And let's move on to part 2. I'll just get your shoe off. It's like he didn't whack me in the face like that. Is that kid all right now or what?
Yeah, it was a soft shoe.
Oh, I'm glad. Anyway, on that note, we've got part 2 of our interview with the amazing Hazel Grace.
Nice.
Talking about the brilliant work she does, helping feed Nepal's children and families. She does brilliant work, and we interviewed her last week, and this is the second part of the interview. Would you like to listen?
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about the impact of the elements. So you've got earthquakes in Nepal. Have you got
monsoon?
Yeah.
So you've got the monsoon in the summer, and then you've, especially up in the mountains, we've got the winters.
Yeah.
and the
So it's a tough environment to live in.
It's a really tough environment, and like I say, the kids will happily walk to school every day.
Yeah.
They won't go, oh, Mum, it's really windy outside. Will you take me in the car? Not an option.
Is that as you say, because school is optional? Do you reckon it's just that understanding of the value of education?
Yeah. And that's, I mean, one of the things Tenzing Norgay, when he, obviously one of the first people on the top of Everest, because it's between him and Sir Edmund Hillary. Tenzing, the quote that we use from him is, "I climb mountains so my children don't have to."
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
They don't want their kids to
be Sherpas.
They want them to be educated, and most of the Sherpa community up in the thing, most of them, their children are educated down in Kathmandu because they can afford to send them to good schools.
Yeah, gotcha.
So they send them there. Whereas then there's the other
people in the village,
other castes that can't afford that. So they're the people that get.
You can help.
Yeah.
Is it because there's a big debate at the minute about sustainable tourism in Everest, right? What do we need to do to improve the way Westerners treat Nepal?
Oh my God, that's a good one.
It wasn't on my list either.
No, you cheat. I mean, the thing is, I know. Actually, up on the Everest Trail, they are doing a lot towards taking away the plastic bottles and things like that, because everything above Lukla has to be carried because there are no roads. So things get flown in on a little 15-seater plane, and then you see these porters carrying plastic bottles of water up the trail so that us trekkers can have nice fresh water. Plastic bottles of Coke. Really? We don't need... I had a big debate with a trekker one year. I actually didn't have a debate. I had a big argument. I told him because he was having a go at the lodge owner that they didn't have Diet Coke. And I said, well, you don't need Diet Coke up here, you need full fat Coke. No, I want Diet Coke. Right, well, why didn't you carry it?
Yeah.
Why would anyone carry something that has no calorific value?
You want the sugar, don't you? That's the thing.
Sugar. I don't like full fat Coke, but I drink it in abundance.
Because you want the boost. You want the boost.
But what they're doing up there, they've banned, I think it's as from now, they've banned single-use plastics up on the trail. There's also a friend of mine is building this place called Sagamartha Next, where they're showing not only the locals but also the trekkers the value of rubbish. So they're turning rubbish into art.
Oh, I love that.
And they've also got a recycling project there, and what they're doing is they're asking each trekker to take 1 kilo of shredded tins and plastics and stuff like that that's already up there, back down to Lukla in a bag on their way down, so when they're not they've got more energy, take it back, and then it will get transported out and recycled properly in Kathmandu.
Love that.
And that's going to be opening in May, and that's a big project called Sagamartha.
So just there's a lot
of things that are starting to go on. And the one thing whenever I take people out is I tell them, right, take what we call it's an Nalgene bottle, it's a brand. You can get it filled with boiling water before you go to bed, keeps you warm in the sleeping bag at night. The next morning it's there as drinking water.
Cool.
And it's like, I don't need, when I'm up there, I never use plastic bottles for my water or anything. I'm not saying I don't have the odd Coke, because I do.
But only full fat.
Only full fat.
So you mentioned about the Build and Track events. What does that involve?
Basically what we do is every other year we take a team of 10, 15 people maximum, and we say, right, we've got a project for you. It's this school. They need this many classrooms. You need to raise this much funds.
So it's a fundraising.
It's a fundraising thing, and it's basically you are going to fund this school. But what's going to happen is you're going to actually get to meet the kids. You're going to get involved with the build. It might be you're involved at the build at the very beginning. So we're demolishing stuff, which we were last year, and 2 years before we were all demolishing things. And then you get involved in the community. You see where your money's gone. You've raised, I think we asked them to raise £10,000 each. And all your donors will see where that money goes.
Yep.
They obviously pay their own way. Every single penny that's raised goes straight to the project.
So they fund flights.
They fund their flights. They fund, they have to pay for the privilege of coming to do this. And it's not cheap. So they have to pay to live in a tent for a week on the campsite.
Hazel, you're not selling this.
I know, as soon as I'm saying it, I'm thinking, really? But if you ask, we've had people that have come to both Build and Treks and want to come to the next one.
You know what though? I mean, since we've done the podcast, there was one, and I always talk about this on the podcast. There was a guy who wrote one of my favourite books, and it's called The 5 Side Effects of Kindness. Have you ever read it?
Oh no.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. He's a Scottish guy, David Hamilton, his name is, really good. And he talks about the fact that just the effort involved in giving back is quite selfish in a way, because it does make you feel fantastic. It makes you feel good. So I can see people who want to contribute financially and otherwise to help.
It. They come out, they get to see the kids. Yeah. They get to see the school that they're helping.
And how much more personal is that in terms of seeing the impact instead of just doing a direct debit?
You actually see where your money's going. And see what you have done.
So when's the next Build and Trek?
The next Build and Trek will be next year.
Okay.
What are we on? We're in 2020 now. 2021.
And what other future events have you got planned?
So what we do is in even years, so 2020, we'll take someone to it. We'll take a team to Everest Base Camp, which we're doing in November this year.
Amazing. And you're training for that at the minute, aren't you?
I'm permanently training to be in Nepal because I'm permanently walking up mountains or whatever. So it seems like never ending for me. It's back in the gym, as you know, because you've seen me. I think actually, were you there when I flew back in on the Sunday morning? I landed at 7 o'clock on the Sunday morning, and I was in the 6:15 class on the Monday.
Was you right? Okay. Yes,
and
I was there.
I'm pretty sure you were
was there.
So yes, it's just a never-ending. As long as I keep.
What's the Hamilton flight?
It's in two legs. It's about 15-16 hours in total.
Okay.
But you can't fly direct to Kathmandu, unfortunately. So I think I'm on Etihad this time. It depends. It's whatever comes up as the cheapest. It's the honest answer.
So it's a layover and then
layover in Abu Dhabi. I think this time it's actually I've got about 6 hours, so it's about 20 hours.
And do you still get jet lagged?
Not on the way out.
Okay.
But I do on the way back.
Gotcha.
On the way out.
So doing a 6:15 after.
But I was wide awake at that time. It's 5 hours 45 minutes ahead at the moment.
Gotcha.
So my body. It was lunchtime.
I'm ready. I'm ready for a class. So you're doing Build and Trek, and then you're doing a base
Everest
camp.
Base Camp, and that's what we'll do every other year.
Okay.
So.
What's the future look like for the charity?
It's looking really good, actually.
Amazing.
It's looking really good. We've just got 3 new trustees, Andy, Sarah Jane and Hayley. They've joined us, and it's given us a new impetus. And Roger, Nadine and I have been doing this for obviously so long, and we're very much focused on what we're focused on. They're bringing new ideas in and actually making it. I mean, it was very professional because we had Nadine making sure that me and Roger were very professional.
Nadine's getting all the credit.
She is.
But you know what? You need different personalities, don't you?
Roger and I just go, we want to do this, we want to do it. And Nadine goes, right. We haven't got the money to do that, guys. Whereas now,
what made you take choice of bringing the new trustees in?
We realised that we needed to get new blood, and we knew that. I mean, Andy has been out. I think he'll shout at me for this. I think it's 3 or 4 times now. He did Build and Trek in 2017. Then he came back to do EBC last year, and so he's done three trips. Hopefully that's right, Andy. Hopefully, and so he's been out there and seen the impact and seen exactly what we do. Sarah Jane worked with Roger when he did Mont Blanc back in, I can't even remember what year that was, but it was way before 2012 and Everest 2012. So Sarah Jane and her husband do all of our, her husband did our logo, and he runs our website for us for free. Thank you very much, Will. And Sarah Jane has been involved in getting all the communications out and branding everything and making it look fabulous. So Sarah Jane has been involved right from 2012, and she's been right the way through. And Hayley, bless her, she's been involved. I think she started before 2017 with us, and again just volunteering because she was working with Roger. Yeah. And she said, "Can I help?" So now we've brought them in officially. Now they have to help us.
No, they're forced to. They're trustees. They're trustees. And does the future look like supporting more schools?
Yes,
does it look like okay?
And I mean that's it. It's going out, and the thing is we
and finding projects,
and we'll go in, and I'll never walk into a school and say you need this. Because I don't know, because I'm not from that village. I don't understand the needs of those children. I will sit there and say, give me a wish list. You tell me what you want. We did that once. I probably won't ask them a wish list again because I got this wish list. And it was like, right, okay, electric guitar. Okay, which one of you guys plays the guitar? Oh, none of us. Right, okay. Where are you going to get the electricity for this electric guitar? Shall I take it off the list?
Yeah.
Drum kit. Shall I take that off the list too? Yeah, okay, yeah, fine.
You know what though, you say that, and we bought a piano last year for the house, and none of us can play the. It looks really good.
It looks really good in the corner.
It looks really good in the corner. And one day, when I find time, I'll get to use it. But
we don't want our money to be just looking good in the corner.
No, exactly, definitely not. You want it to be effective. Right. So before we finish.
Okay.
What we do every week is, as part of the podcast, we ask a question. And I know that you've been involved when I've been posting on social media a couple of times. But we've been asking these because we're 100 odd episodes in. We've got loads and loads of these to ask, and every time somebody comes on as a guest, we ask them a bunch of questions. So
go on in.
Here we go. What's your favourite Muppet?
Animal.
Definitely.
Animal.
There's only one choice, isn't there?
There is no choice.
There is only one choice, clearly. Somebody, when we asked this question, somebody brought in Sesame Street characters.
No,
definitely not, is it?
It's the Muppets. It's Animal.
Agreed. Animal.
Or Enzo.
I'm still going with Animal. Yeah. World's best biscuit?
Ooh, chocolate hobnob.
Chocolate hobnob, good choice.
I should have said coconut crunchies because that's what I live on when I'm on the trail in Nepal. But it's hot chocolate hobnob, definitely.
What's a coconut crunchy?
Oh, I'm going to have to bring you some back from Nepal.
Amazing. I'll tell you what, we interviewed somebody from China the other day who does this amazing project. It'll be on the podcast where they partner Chinese students with elderly people in the UK.
Oh, wow.
And it's to help the Chinese students learn English, but also to stop loneliness in the elderly people in the UK. Amazing project.
Wow.
And they mentioned this Chinese biscuit and the lady was a journalist, she travelled quite a lot, and I'm waiting for them to arrive in the post because apparently they're the best biscuit I've never heard of that I'm going to love, apparently.
I can't promise that back. But you will get some in June when I come back.
Amazing. That sounds really good. What's your favourite piece of trivia? And a piece of Nepalese trivia might be good. Like a quiz question that...
Piece of trivia?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I can't even think. Jeez.
Okay. Let me ask another one. What are you thinking about that?
Please do.
If you could be any character in a book, what would it be?
Baloo.
Baloo. I haven't read The Jungle Book in ages.
Oh my God, The Jungle Book is my favourite book.
Is it? Why? What is it?
I loved it from growing up, and obviously I remember seeing the film. So because I saw the film, then I wanted to read the book, which is nothing. Well, it is obviously very similar to the book, but nothing. The film, but Baloo was always my favourite character.
And what did you think of the remake?
I actually liked it because it had the nods to the bare necessities, and that it had all those little nods to it. And I thought, good work. I watched it thinking I wouldn't like it.
Well, we're going through it in a minute. Aladdin, the remake of Aladdin, I quite liked. Because I've got young, because Sophie's 8, I still get to watch all this stuff. But the one that I'm less keen on, Lady and the Tramp. Don't
Have they done a remake?
They've done a remake of Lady and the Tramp.
Possibly.
Doesn't work. Aladdin sort of works.
The spaghetti moment.
I know, it's just, and it's a live action, like it's a real dogs version. Doesn't work as well.
That's like doing it to the Aristocats as well.
I know. Well, maybe that's next on the list. There seems to be a bit of a trend. Let me give you another one. If you had a superhero name and a superhero power, what would it be?
Oh, my superhero name would have to be something like Witch Hazel.
Okay.
Because everyone calls me a witch, it's fine. My superpower would be being able to heal anyone just by touching them.
Okay. Oh, I like that one. That's good. That's good. And what's your favourite work of art?
I don't know. See, I love Jack Vetriano.
Okay.
I love Jack Vetriano, and I've got various pictures of his around my room. Private Dancer by Jack Vetriano.
Jack Vetriano came up when we asked, funny enough, and it's somebody I hadn't heard of, so I'm going to have to Google it again.
Everyone knows Jack Vetriano because there's a biscuit tin box that's very famous of his, but you look at all his other, and actually like On Parade is another one, and I've actually got a big picture of On Parade, a real one.
Okay, cool.
So On Parade is one of his less known, but On Parade and Private Dancer, probably they're my two.
Amazing, good stuff. And one more question: what's the funniest TV show you've ever seen?
Oh, good God, we could be on here. We could be here forever because obviously Only Fools and Horses immediately comes to mind.
True. Yeah.
Mrs. Brown's Boys. I wet myself all the way through that.
Guilty pleasure. I know that intellectually I shouldn't like it, but I do find it funny.
Oh my God, she is so is so brilliant.
Cool. May not be the last question. Maybe check it up on it. What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
Now you know mine's Mrs.
Judge
Brown's
Rinder.
Boys. Just bad TV, full stop. Mrs. Brown's Boys and Judge Rinder. And so we can try and redeem this interview from the precipice of whatever this has happened to it. When was the last time you cried?
This morning.
And what was it about?
Mum.
Yeah. I think actually... Yeah, and interestingly, we have a lot of recently on the podcast. We've been talking a lot about mental health. I think crying is actually a healing emotion. You know,
obviously, not obviously because your podcast people don't know. I lost my partner. Or did I put that in the podcast?
Yeah, you did.
I can't remember if it was part of the podcast or not. And the one thing I say to people now that I learned from my experience and my experience with Dad as well is if you feel like you need to cry, you cry. If that's in the middle of the supermarket, cry.
Yeah.
Just do it. I put in the first time I did it was I put in something as I was walking around the supermarket, just picked up his favourite thing off the shelf, put it in the thing, and I went, I don't even like that. And then I started crying because I realised why I'd done it. And just let it out because if you build it up, it's gonna eat away at you.
Yeah, I'm guilty in my house of crying quite a lot.
Oh, so my dad used to cry.
I love a cry.
I love a cry.
I love. You know what? There's one film moment that always gets me, and it's the first 3 minutes of the Pixar film Up. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I've been told I've got to watch it. I've
honestly,
been told I've got to watch it.
it's just the best piece of storytelling ever, and it's amazing. Just YouTube it, because the first 3 minutes is all on YouTube, and it's just this story of love and loss and everything in between. It's just amazing. So I always cry at that. I admitted before we start recording the podcast, I did cry when I lost my mum last year on a bullet train.
On a bullet train.
Which is like, if you're going to cry somewhere, why not do it on a bullet train?
That's a good place to do it.
It's good. Japanese businessmen who were surrounding me weren't too impressed.
Take it the same way.
But I think if you're feeling that emotion, why not?
You've got to. You've got to let it out.
I laugh quite a lot as well, which is important. And last one, I promise it's the last one, because we've now we've gone down that curve of
We're coming back up.
Mrs. Brown Boys and Judd Rinder, we were down, and they're on the up ramp. What's your funniest travel story?
Oh my God! Funniest travel story. Roger Owen. Right, so in 2012 he told us so many. It is funny, but it's not. He told us so many times, right? Make sure when you're travelling, because you're travelling with quite a lot of money, because you're going out there, put it in little bits all around your bags. Don't have all your money in one place. Blah blah blah. And we got to Qatar as on our layover on our way out to Nepal, and we're sat at Costa's we're sat at Costa's of all places in Qatar airport, and Roger just went, I haven't got my money belt. And we went, okay, what, did you leave it on the plane or did you leave it at home? He went, I think I've left it on the plane. It's got all of my money in. Now bearing in mind, this man was about to go out and spend 3 months out in Nepal.
And he's carrying cash,
and he's
right?
carrying all the cash, and it's to summit, and he's summiting Everest and everything. And he'd told every single one of us, split your money everywhere. And we're all sat there, and we went, what? And I mean, so it is funny. It's funny now because everything was okay, but he didn't find the money. That's the whole thing.
Right.
But we made it right and all that. But it's just.
So where was it?
Do this, we don't know. It was on the plane, but it was never found.
Oh,
it was one of those. It was one of those. It was never found.
No. So you helped him out, right?
So yeah, we all. But it was the funny about the fact that he actually didn't take his own advice.
Yeah.
So we do remind him of that.
But then, you know what? Sometimes those funny stories come from just people making mistakes. Yeah. So the one, and this was only last year. So every year I go away with my dad. So I go on holiday with my dad. I don't think I've shared this on the podcast before, but I might have done. I book. We go a weekend away, and we go to. First, we started in Kuala Lumpur, and then we do a lot of Prague. We did Prague and Budapest and stuff like that. This year, my dad said, "I'd like to go to Gibraltar." So I said, "Yeah, okay, we'll give Gibraltar a go and we'll climb up the rock and stuff like that." Put a hotel called the Hotel Gibraltar. So
fair enough.
Fine. Google mapped it. 10 minutes away, walking from the airport. Flew into Gibraltar Airport. 10 o'clock at night, we jump in a cab, and I say to the guy, "Can you take me, please, to the Hotel Gibraltar?" And he went, "I can't." I said, "Why not?" He said, "That hotel's not in Gibraltar. It's in Spain." And I booked the hotel in the wrong country.
It's on the other side.
So literally I could see the hotel. I could see it like over the border. I could see the hotel. Don't call it the Hotel Gibraltar if it's not in Gibraltar though. Yeah. So I had to drag my 70-year-old dad across the border.
Across that runway.
It was on the other side of the runway. So yeah, but every day we had to go back and forth. And I said to him, "You've never done so much international travel," because we were just crossing the border every day. But it was just one of those things where at the time I was absolutely devastated.
Oh my God.
But
it makes a good story for your podcast.
It was, exactly. But that's
it's about a mistake.
Yeah, it's about those things that go wrong that in hindsight is actually quite funny. So, where can people find out a little bit more about the charity?
Well, we've got a website, supportingnepalschildren.org.uk. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook. Just do a search for Supporting Nepal's Children, you'll find
amazing, and we'll put all the links in the show notes as well so people can see it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Dhanyabad, as we say in Nepal.
Thank you. So that was really good, wasn't it?
Yes.
And let's move on to the end of the show with our little phrase.
"'Tis the end of another podcast."
Now, interestingly, the question this week was, again, another massively popular one. It was chocolate bar related. So we are going to talk about chocolate quite a lot. So remind me, Charlotte, what's your favourite chocolate bar?
I don't think I said.
Oh, go on and tell us.
I think I actually know. But if it's chocolate related sweets, chocolate limes. If it's sweets in general, Werther's Original with a gooey centre.
Okay, but this is the other thing, because we had a conversation off the podcast, because we like to chat every now and again.
Yes, I mean, you know.
Where we talked a little bit about best chocolate collections, right? And you said to me something quite interesting. Because you said to me, celebrations aren't as good as roses or heroes.
That wasn't me you were having that conversation with.
You got involved though, didn't you?
Nope, I don't even remember that conversation.
Right.
So
we did have a conversation. I did have a conversation in my house at some point about celebrations, but
it might have been Mum, because if you put chocolate in front of me, I'd see it.
But this is the thing, right? I think it goes celebrations, heroes, roses, and then Quality Street. I don't know.
Quality Street aren't great.
With the other niche ones like Lint up the top, like Lint or Thornton's. They do amazing chocolate collections. But in terms of the mainstream ones, I think celebrations is by the top.
That's the ones with, like, you get the different types of chocolate bars, but in the mini version, yeah, they're the best ones.
Yeah, exactly. Mum said to me, she likes a tub of roses. And I'm sorry, there's too much.
You don't know what they are. I don't want a mystery. I just want a chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me a chocolate. Anyway,
I don't want to have to deduce what I'm eating. I just want to put it in my mouth.
This shouldn't be a puzzle, Roses. Just bang Bounty on the front, and then we'll sort it out. But Mum said she didn't like Bounty. You don't like Bounty, do you?
They're okay. I'm just not a big fan of coconut.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so what is the world's greatest chocolate bar and confectionery? We had a range of people telling us what they were. Sharon said Fry's Turkish Delight. Now that's my worst chocolate bar. A Turkish Delight I'm less keen of. Eve Keith said Roundtree fruit gums. Not a great fan. I mean,
they're nice.
Yeah, they're okay.
I wouldn't pick them over anything else.
Now the weird one is Alan Bowley wrote in and said you should go to. I don't know why he was trying to advertise them, but you should go to sweets.com because they do an amazing collection. So I clicked on sweets.com and it took me to Sweets Construction that sold building materials. Now I'm not being funny, Alan.
I don't think that's what he was.
If I want to plonk something in my mouth, I don't want it to be a brick.
I was thinking more like, one of those long metal beams, they use for construction.
Yeah, I don't need it to be a piece of scaffolding. Dawn said dry roasted peanuts. Oh, now that's not sweet, but very nice. Or caramel. Louise McNamee said Aero or Ferrero Rocher. Ambassador, you are spoiling us. John Cook said chocolate bar crunchy. Too much like sort of crunchy middle. And sweet Skittles or peanut M&Ms.
I do like the white Skittles, they're good.
Peanut M&Ms are amazing. Caroline Thompson said Cadbury's Dairy Milk. Alison said I love a dime bar. Scott Goswell said a Kit Kat peanut bar. Nice. Topic, Time Out, Rolos. There's just too many. Lucy Patrick said a double decker. Johnny Piper said Toblerone, the original size one, before they stole some of it. But that is one of the problems with the modern world. They're not increasing prices, they're just reducing size.
And Freddos, why aren't they 10p anymore? That's my biggest complaint about chocolate. Freddos should be 10p. That's the way
I remember when I was a kid, there were halfpenny sweets. You know, in the times when drama teachers could kick their shoe off and hit it in somebody's face and not get in trouble.
I hope she never listens to this.
And not have to change your shoe. Jenny Butler said Toblerone. Did you get in trouble for it?
I don't know.
What happened to the kid?
I don't know.
Was he traumatised?
We didn't used to have half-penny sweets. We used to have penny sweets. But they ranged from 1p to 20p.
That, my friend, is inflation.
Yeah. Now they range from 20p to £1. So.
Johnny Piper said Toblerone. Noel Ransom said Yorkie bars, and they are just for men and possibly women. Don't get us in trouble with a comment like that, Noel. But Noel also likes chocolate Easter eggs.
It's coming up to the time.
And Sue Conyu said, and this is a very, very nice chocolate. Not sure about the white one, but green and black's chocolate I like. Now, Sue was saying she likes green and black's white chocolate. I'd go the other way and go, you need to go heavy on the dark chocolate. Green and black's dark chocolate.
I don't like dark chocolate.
Little bit bitter.
It's a bit bitter.
Little bit, but amazing. Green and black's dark chocolate is amazing. Other chocolates are clearly available because we've listed loads
We've laid
today.
them all out for you. I have a joke.
Have we? Can we not bin the joke now?
Yes.
Go on then.
We're not binning the joke. I
Bin
love
the
it.
joke.
It's like my one little bit. Okay. When does a joke become a dad joke? When the punchline is a parent.
That's a dad joke. And on that note, my friends, have a lovely week, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.